And welcome to another episode of MACYAK. And Grudy is now muted because his dogs decided to start barking right when we come live. So,
like clockwork.
yeah. In fact, his dogs were not barking up until actually I hit that transition button.
I think his dog is on a timer.
Just like Greg's cuckoo clock.
Actually, I turned off the cuckoo clock now, so you won't hear it tonight.
Oh.
So there you go.
Oh, damn.
Oh, we're about to
I
see
like
it
that.
flying through the picture right there.
Yeah. And Mike's using
Good evening, everybody.
and Mike's using the blur background thing there, so it looks.
Only
all right.
because I have stuff sitting on my couch behind me that I'm trying to keep as secret as possible for what I'm hoping to be a slightly special upcoming episode on my
Ooh,
channel.
excited.
Ooh, all
All
right.
right.
Okay.
Only one person knows what I have going on in the works, so I'm trying to keep it that way. That's the only reason I did it, because actually I don't like it, but I don't feel like cleaning off my couch either.
Well, that's probably what it is, really. So, anyways, welcome, guys.
Well, that too.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of MACYAK. We are at episode number 67 for April 16th today. Week number 4 of the quarantine. So, how's everybody doing in the quarantine life?
It's only been 4 weeks.
It's
It's only been
Oh, just peachy. It's amazing the crap that people want done to their cars when they're quarantined.
Yeah, business as usual, really. Feels like it's been months, but I don't even know what day it is. So
that's the problem I have. Every day just seems to bleed together.
Yeah.
And
I can't keep track
at work,
of my weeks anymore.
I was on a meeting and it was like, today's Thursday. I'm like, oh, good. I thought it was Wednesday.
it has been getting like that. I think last week a lot of you guys thought it was Thursday night and it was actually Wednesday night. And
I can't make it. I have a power issue. It's Wednesday, dude. You'll be fine.
Oh.
Okay.
But he still did-
This
he's-
week marked the 6-week anniversary of toilet paper going missing from
there we
Australian
go. Yep.
shelves, so
the 6 week, and it's still missing from most shelves. In fact,
it's still
But
missing.
I
yeah.
still can't
in
find
fact,
it. I'm using paper
in
towel.
fact, I went to the commissary today, and all the toilet paper aisle was completely empty.
No, I went to Kroger today, and it's about half full. Not even the bad brands either. Pretty good stuff. So.
Yeah, Walmart actually had some. So
We are on our 67th show, and we have 660 subscribers. So we need 10 more subscribers to make this all even.
or we need 6 more to be the price of the first Mac, right?
Yes, the first Apple too.
Yep.
Oh, the first
The
Apple.
first Apple.
Apple.
First
yeah.
Apple.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's let me take a minute. Look at the chat here. We got Ben, Duke,
Oh.
Dana, Trina,
Matt,
Wombat, Matt,
Charlie, Neo.
Charlie, James, and Neo is back. All right, we got a good
Yeah.
start here.
There we go. All right, guys. So we've had a couple of interesting things happen this week. I think what was we'll go ahead and go right straight into the news, I guess. Then I guess Apple released a new iPhone on us during this coronavirus thing. A new iPhone SE.
Boo.
For
I missed that.
basically, it's basically an iPhone 7 lookalike almost.
I think it's basically an iPhone 8 with some parts of it.
Yeah.
That's basically what it
Yeah.
is.
It's got the.
It's an iPhone with an identity
I
crisis.
think it has the iPhone 11 camera, but it has the iPhone 7 or 8 body.
Yeah, but it has an iPhone 11 CPU with just a gig less of
Yeah.
RAM. So honestly, I don't think it's that bad of a phone. But
What's the price tag?
$400 for the 64 gig model.
Not bad.
that's
So the
not
price,
bad.
the price is right.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
And
the whole.
everything else about it.
And it
sucks.
has wireless charging too, so that's another thing the 7 didn't have. I mean, the 8.
Does it come with
You know, it's the body of an 8.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to a new SE, but I want the iPhone 5 form factor and size.
Yeah, when I went to from the 4 to the 5, I didn't
so
notice the size.
you
much
want
'cause it
this
just made it a
form
little
factor.
taller, but-
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
but I'll,
really-
I'll be honest, Jay. When I went from the 5 to the 6, which is the same as the 7 or the 8, it wasn't like a huge difference. And now if I use somebody's 5, like my dad has a 5, or an SE rather, if I use that, I'm like, this is too tiny. I can't type.
when I went
Yeah.
from the 5, I skipped the 5S. I went from the 5 to the 6, and I hated it every single day. Touch ID was nice, of course. But no, as soon as the SE came out, I think I was still on the 6 by then. Yeah, I skipped the 7.
Now, I'm willing to
No.
bet you that the Touch ID button is probably the same as when the 8 came out. With it doesn't really actually move. It's a solid button,
Yeah, it's same
and it's
exact
got
board.
haptic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's
even
got the
worse.
haptic touch.
Yeah.
I got used to it. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah,
It's really weird though when the power is dead on the device. If you go to touch
Yes.
your home button, it's like, what's going on? It's not moving.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're holding it in your hand, the haptic is, for me, it feels very much like
Yeah,
a
it
real
does
button.
feel real.
If you put it down on a surface and you press it, it feels really weird because it's sort of
Oh,
the
that does
haptic-
feel weird. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. But if you're holding it in your hand, I feel like it tricks me into thinking it is a
Well,
button. But
let's talk about haptics there too, because like on the trackpads on the Mac Pro or MacBook Pros, that have the haptic feedback. I like it because it feels like it's a real click.
What year did they start doing that?
I want to say the 2017. Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't used a newer one than a 15,
Yeah.
so I'm curious.
Well,
I've
the
tried
reason
that.
why I like it too is because instead of having the lever on the top, so when you get your finger gets closer to the top, it doesn't press. Okay, it presses everywhere on there, so there's no
Yeah, I
dead
guess
Let me
spots.
that's-
guess, you're one of those people that's like, oh, the puck mouse is too round. I can't.
No, the puck mouse just looks. It just
When you
sucks.
started using trackpads, you know to keep your fingers down in the lower half. It's
But
automatic.
you don't have to now.
Yeah, but it's never been an issue. They fixed the problem that wasn't there.
Because you got used to it. You just memory muscled it.
I think that this, the SE looks kind of like, obviously it's like an 8 and an 11
Yeah.
like combined. I mean, for $400, look, it's not the best thing. They took out the headphone jack, obviously. But for $400, that's not a bad.
But I
iPhone.
still don't think it's as small as people want it. I think, like Jay was saying, I think people want it the small form factor that fits in your actual hand instead of it's still. I think it's going to be a little bit too big for people.
Well, I think they'll probably still sell the older SE in other regions,
Well,
where
I,
those phones are more popular because they discontinued the 8. So I don't think they actually have anything that's smaller that they're selling.
well, if
right
you
now.
I mean, I'm happy that it's out there. If my phone breaks and I don't want to pay full price for another one, I can't find anything good used, then I know $400 will have me up and running on a device with warranty. But yeah, it's strictly a backup.
yep.
and for
And it
those
has-
Australian viewers that might be out there, 749.
Ooh,
So how much is the iPhone XS for you? I want to know.
Okay, hang on.
But
Wouldn't it be the 11 Pro?
But you also got to remember too that that the iPhone SE also still has Touch ID, and right now with this pandemic stuff going on, people wearing face masks. Guess what doesn't work? Face ID.
I
good
know.
old Touch ID.
Yeah.
Use your
I
phone.
actually had to wear a face mask today in the commissary because it was mandatory that we had to wear them in the commissary at Fort Belvoir, and every time I went to go open my phone up, I had to go and I had to wait for the digits to come up. So it took longer for it to actually open up. And
The more I think about Face ID, the more
that's
I don't like it.
one of the reasons why I don't like
I've
it.
never liked it.
I like the Touch ID because I just put my thumb there and it's instant open.
I love Touch ID. Yeah.
So speaking of touching, it looks like the 3D touch is now completely replaced with the haptic touch. I know it's like a minor difference, but I don't know. I like the 3D
Well, the
touch.
three-
You're not going to tell me that haptic garbage feels like a real click.
I've never,
Can't
I don't think I've tried that. So,
Mm.
because when did they start doing the haptic touch?
They start doing it with the
Seven?
iPhone 7, I believe.
iPhone 7, yeah.
7, yeah.
Oh, then maybe I've just been using it all along. I know the heck.
That was the reason. That was the biggest reason Apple gave for removing the headphone jack because the haptic engine took over where the headphone jack was.
The 6S had haptic.
Oh, okay. So 3D touch was one on the
I
6.
thought that one has
Yeah.
3D
No.
touch.
6S has haptic, the haptic vibration motor in it.
No, I don't think. No, the 6S didn't.
Yeah, it
Fight,
did.
fight.
I know. I've fixed a few of them.
Did it have the long?
No,
It
the
had the.
6S still has the 3D touch.
Yeah, but the 6S didn't have
It
haptic.
shows up on my phone as 3D touch.
But it
So
has
maybe
the
it was the
haptic
7.
motor in it.
But there's
All
a
right, but I think it was the
there's
7.
a difference
then.
between the haptic motor and the vibrating motor. There was two different things in there. The haptic was a big long little
yeah,
box.
it's down on the bottom right next to the headphone
Uh-huh.
jack on the 6S.
All right, 3D touch is part of the 6S, 6S Plus, 7, 7 Plus, 8, 8 Plus, X, XS, XS Max, but not.
So around the 6S, it started sucking. No, I feel
No, I don't even
say
like
that every
3D
day,
touch. I
because-
have it turned off.
when I'm repairing a 2019 MacBook Air, and then I grab a 2015 or something else, and you have the real click and that haptic garbage side by side, or when I walk to my wife's Mac, she has the Magic trackpad
Yeah.
thing,
Mhm.
and it disconnected from Bluetooth. Why? Well, I can't freaking click it, so I don't know. You just banging on this piece of glass and nothing happens. No, I don't like it.
That's why you need the puck mouse.
Yes, never enough fuck mice. Look what I got today. Another
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fully puck, Jay.
All right. So another thing
Yes.
about this SE, and I see in here, is that the Apple Care only costs $79 instead of the previous $129. That's another.
Oop.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that I think is like, look, you get for under $500, you get a phone with a 2-year warranty on it and accidental damage protection somewhat. And
Well,
that's not too
if I
bad.
was in like Jay just said, I would get it as a temporary replacement for my phone. So, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even buy the Apple Care.
Oh, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
like a
normal
family
people.
member upgrade. My dad still has a 5S. Runs great. We put a new battery in it last year. Smooth everything. But if he breaks that phone, he's not gonna spend $1,200 on an iPhone.
Oh yeah,
You
Yeah.
know.
especially now
This might be
now
a
that they
good option.
discontinued the 8 and the 8 Plus. I guess the SE is sort of the replacement for
Yep.
that.
By the way,
No,
Bruce,
fine.
did you look up the price of the X?
Well, I did, but it's not actually an option there. So I've basically got
Yeah,
the
it's the
iPhone 11
7
Pro,
it'd
the
be
iPhone
7
11,
and the 11
be-
Pro, yeah.
or the XR. So I can give you the price of the 11 Pro, the 11, or the XR. Which one would you like?
11. Oh,
Okay, iPhone 11. So let's have a little look at how badly we are being screwed down here. iPhone 11 from $1,200.
Ouch.
And that's
So
just the basic 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 256 gigabyte is $1,450.
Oh,
So anyhow,
Well,
I
speaking
think
of
that's the
gouging,
price for a maxed out Pro here.
yeah, I know.
Yep.
Which, yeah, we're getting screwed.
So who's getting them? Who's getting them a new Mac Pro?
Not me.
Yeah, nobody anytime soon. Speaking of Mac Pro, the next thing we got in the news announcement is Apple is offering even more expensive wheels for the Mac Pro. $700. The built-to-order wheels were $400. Why is this $300 more? Yeah,
Because they can.
Because Apple.
So apparently, the whole reason
Well-
behind the wheels costing $700 was because they wanted to, the new wheels now $700 is they need to swap out the $300 cost of the feet. I have no clue how that works.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
so
It doesn't make sense.
so
to me.
they're basically keeping the feet and sending you back the Mac with wheels on it. So
and charging you $300 for kids.
yeah, does that make any sense whatsoever?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure at Apple HQ they're having this conversation with a straight face because they're so drowned in Kool-Aid. It's like, oh yeah, look at these wheels. Well, Johnny Ive isn't there anymore, so you can do. Look, it's a phenomenal wheel. You can.
Aluminum. Say it, Bruce.
I'm sure he had something to do with the design.
Say aluminum, Bruce.
So
I'm sure
Apple
I'm
offers-
sure the bearings on them are like solid gold or something.
Yeah. Like if you open it up and you take out the bearings, they're gonna be adamantium or something. But,
It's going to be unobtainium. That stuff that's
Unobtainium, yeah.
from what was that movie?
Well,
Avatar.
if you can't afford a Mac Pro, at least you could buy the feet, and the feet kit alone are $300.
Wow.
So
Free shipping.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a video by Snazzy Labs where he and a few other people, I think, spent a bit of time creating these little 3D printed. They sort of encapsulate the existing feet, and then at the bottom they have a little tapped hole for screwing in any standard size caster.
But
any
did you
size
see
you
how
want,
high
just
that
any
thing
wheel.
stood?
This is true, and I guess the question you have to ask yourself. I mean, you're right. It added
About
like
4
that sort of
inches,
height
yeah.
or something. But I guess is that you just have to $700, computer a little bit higher.
Because you know what it looked.
I know what I'm.
You know what it looked like to me when I saw that video. I looked at it and I thought of
God.
a Redneck's 4x4. Where they raised it up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You just get one of
Oh,
those
God.
furniture moving dollies. Just put your Mac Pro.
There
on
you
that.
go.
That's
Called a
probably the easiest thing. Let's face it.
Probably.
the thing is, and I even did a post about it
Skateboard?
on 2 of the Facebook groups. It's like, hey, listen, we're gonna get a lot of people coming in with showing off the new Mac Pro, asking questions, answering questions, stuff like that. Stop making fun of them. It's a good Mac Pro, and blah blah blah. But now it's gonna be hard if someone shows up says, "Look, I got the new wheel
And
kit."
I'm laughing. I'm like, you paid $700.
There's
Matt
no
was
way I could
$700
take
for
you
this.
serious for spending that amount of
Well-
money, even if it's a business write-off or whatever. It's no.
Jay, are you
no.
going to laugh at him for spending $1,000 on a stand, a monitor stand?
Yeah.
But here's the thing I never understood. Why do you need wheels? Because when you think about it, when are you ever going to have to move it? And it's always plugged in.
No.
So
I
you could
move my
race them.
Pro all the time, and having wheels under it is phenomenal.
Yeah, but you're only moving it forward to clean it.
And sideways.
Well, someone actually made a Christopher Whitson said, "Why not buy a skateboard to sit it on?"
Yep.
There you go. Then,
Exactly.
It'll only go backwards and forwards.
but you could.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
it's called the G5 skates, but it fits a Mac Pro too.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
I totally understand the need for the wheels.
Well,
but
I could
they're
see.
just price gouging at that
Actually,
point.
I could see a third-party aftermarket device come out like the skateboard for the G5 and the Mac Pro, where they're going to come out with something that's low profile, and you could just set your Mac Pro with the regular legs on there. You're going to see that come out.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do a Kickstarter. You're going to see a Kickstarter start on it. We should do that, actually. Damn it, we should do that.
Way to give away our idea.
Damn it. Nah. But anyways,
I guess the Apple wheels just become a status symbol then, do they? I mean,
Yeah. I got the Apple wheel.
I had the real.
is that like is
No,
I
a
thought
Mercedes
I
is a
thought owning
status
it-
symbol. A Tesla, you're just a freaking idiot. Sorry.
hey, my wife wants to buy a
I
Tesla.
thought owning the Apple period was the status symbol.
Well, not anymore.
You know?
Not anymore.
levels of status.
Well, you guys remember back when the iPhone first came out, that app that came out, it was like $1,000 or something, or whatever it was.
It was the rupee
Yeah, it
gem.
was just a gem. It didn't do anything. It said, "I am rich." The app's name was "I am rich."
Yeah, yeah.
And it,
Yeah, it was only on for like one day.
yeah.
Hey, that developer made a lot of money in that one day, I'm sure. A bunch of idiots. I need the app. Oh,
Yeah. So I mean, there's what did P.T. Barnum say? There's a sucker born every minute, and so somebody will
Yeah.
buy those.
Yep.
That's truth to it. I mean,
I mean, you're
Usually
selling a
people that have more money
$6,000.
than brains.
Yeah, you're selling a $6,000 system and a $6,000 display. What's a few $100 more for wheels?
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not gonna hurt that much. All right. Next news topic. Grudy finally got all of his collection holy grails.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you remember that episode we did, what was it, months ago? It was probably back in September, where we talked about all the holy grails we wanted. and we had a list, but we didn't have any of them. I got all of them now, and the very last one that I needed, I actually have owned for 2 years and had no clue. And, and that was the 20-inch iMac G4, which Colin Mister has had sitting in a box for 2 years.
Is that the one he
to
destroyed?
use as a part
Oh,
system.
he didn't destroy the display on it yet?
No, not yet.
You-
But now that we know that that's a 20-inch, I have all my holy grails. So I thought we'd just make this. Really
okay,
quick.
so
But,
are you going to
yeah.
let...
And now Grudy is bored and he started buying cars.
Yeah. Since now he has all the Macs, now he's buying cars.
Why? It's on Patreon.
Yeah.
So it's on Patreon.
So we talk about that. We're Patreon
yeah.
members.
You don't know what type it is. Go sign up to his Patreon.
The Ford.
Now you got to buy some Apple IIs,
Okay, it's
some
Ford.
Amigas, some other expensive
it's
crap.
the worst vehicle you could ever buy. Starts with an F, ends with a D.
Ferrari?
Yeah, but it's technically an international with a
Freaking
full body
Tesla.
on it.
So
The one he
We'll go
got
with
is
that. It's an
actually, I have to
international.
say, Greg, the one that he bought is actually the best one you can buy.
okay,
If you actually had to have a choice, that would be the one you should buy.
but not with all the stuff he's having to do with it already, and he just bought it.
Oh, the dealership's taking care of it.
It just
I'm not
sounds like
worried
it
about
needs a good service to me. That's all.
Yeah, it needs a good service. That's it.
So you drove it all the way back for it to get a good service? You go back and
Yeah,
forth?
I'll just tell you guys. I bought a 2002 7.3 liter Ford Excursion, which I traded my dad's old van in. So
Yep.
it's fun.
All right.
Is that the van you were going to give to Steve?
Ooh.
There was
Maybe.
no serious offer, baby. Fine.
All right, so the last news item we got before we start our topics is Apple update bricks MacBooks. So, and I think Jay, I just posted the link in there, so if you guys want to go to it. But basically, and it's been out for a couple weeks now, so sorry, we're just now coming out with this. But if you've installed this and it bricked your machine, and I think Jay and I figured it out because I installed the upgrade to my 2017 MacBook Pro and didn't have a problem with it. But it doesn't have a T2 chip. So we're thinking it has something to do with the T2 chip.
I almost guarantee it does. That thing's nothing but trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been nothing but trouble.
Yeah, the T2 chip fails more often than people realize.
Mm-hmm. I think Apple needs to really seriously reconsider putting that stupid thing in there.
No, they'll just put it in T3.
T900.
Yes, exactly.
You get the reference there?
9,000
No, a
was it?
T900. Okay,
Okay.
you ever see Terminator? Arnold
Yeah, I thought it was
Schwarzenegger was the
9,000.
T900 model.
I thought it was
800.
Oh, was it 800?
I thought he was the
Oh, okay, it was 800.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, 800.
See, I got owned.
You cannot quote Terminator and then get it wrong.
I got it wrong. But I think the T1000 was the liquid dude, right?
Oh, okay. That's why
Yeah.
the 1,000
That
was
was
in my
the
head.
liquid.
Yeah. So, anyways, but if you come on this update, do not do it. It's been bricking some MacBook Pros, and I think the thing that every one of these has in common, like I think Jay and I did some, we actually talked about this a little bit, is it basically every one of them have the T2 chip. It's the newer MacBook Pros.
Have Apple responded?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, $149.99 to fix it.
Probably holding your mouse wrong.
Yeah,
Good response.
you're holding your MacBook wrong.
Yeah.
There's always a reason why I wait for a security update. I wait to see what it does before I ever install it. I don't care how critical the update's supposed to be. I wait until it has it all clear.
I need to install it the second
Oh
it
yeah,
hits.
I do too.
Because if there's a problem, I need to write about it.
Yes.
Yeah, except that you don't run Catalina.
No, but they still do updates.
Well, my
They're actually still
20.
they're still actually doing updates on High Sierra. I got an update the other day.
Yeah, I know. I got one not too long ago.
In fact, it was last week. It was just for Safari, but
I guess it was. Oh yeah, I still get updates. Oh my, at least once a month for High Sierra, just for various little things. I did get a security update a couple months ago for High Sierra because that's what I run on all my computers. But
Yeah.
that's actually the only security update I've gotten for High Sierra since I've been running it.
No, I got Catalina on the 13-inch 2012. It runs all right. I just got it there for testing, but no way I'm putting this on my Mac Pro.
oh, I've got it on my Mac Pro. I'm running it right now, as a matter of fact. So
I have it on my Mini, and I'm not happy with it.
I'm actually pretty happy with
Probably
it.
because
It runs.
I'm running it on the worst computer you can, but
I mean, it runs perfect on my Mac Pro. I mean, I haven't had any issues with it, but I'm running it with OpenCore as well. So, I'm doing a lot of testing with that as well. So, anything else for news and announcements before we move on, guys? That was the last.
I don't know. I'm eating dinner and I forgot to open the PDF.
All right, so next we're going to go to our first topic, and I'm going to throw it over to Grudy here. This is his lane right here.
Okay. What was it about again?
Folding.
Folding. Right. Yeah.
Do you read
I'm kidding. I knew
the
what
topics?
It was. I do read the topics once, usually hours before the show
No,
starts.
you don't.
Just wait for the stream to catch up and then read the little banner so you know what it's about.
That's a good point. But anyway, so what's folding at home? This has been popping up in the Mac community topics for a while now, since the whole Corona COVID-19 stuff started up. It's blown up in the whole computer community. And what is folding at home? Folding at home was created by Stanford back in the mid 2000s to use I forget what they called it.
Grid computing?
You sure it was Stanford and not Berkeley?
I thought it was a laundry
I
folding
thought it was
service.
Berkeley, but I could be wrong.
Berkeley gets
I
SETI
think,
at home.
Yeah, SETI.
Yeah.
Stanford does folding. But folding at home uses community computers across the world. Any computer can do it that meets the minimum requirements. And what it does, it's virtually folding proteins to do medical research. And I've actually been doing this since October 2015. I'm in the top.
Grudy,
30
before you go any further, explain to the audience what exactly folding is.
I just
No,
did.
you did. You said the word folding several times, but you didn't say.
Said folding proteins.
Yeah.
So it's obviously that's a
That's
medical
what I just
term.
said. It's
Yeah.
folding proteins.
Okay, what is folding
What is-
doing? Is what I'm saying.
Well, it's using CPU and GPU power, if the GPU supports it, to fold these proteins for medical research. It figures out how the proteins built, and then sends the data off to help cure diseases and stuff.
So essentially, a lot of computing power is required to do this.
Yeah.
So instead of building one supercomputer to do it, you're distributing that
It's
workload. So it's like
Okay,
Literally,
that's what I was
yeah.
trying to get Grudy to say is that it's distributed computing, not. I mean,
Grudy did
That-
say it. I'll just cover my mouth and I'll talk.
One of the really good things about this type of data, and it's the same with SETI at home being another one.
actually,
is
SETI
that
at home is
it's something
gone
like-
now.
Oh no.
Yes,
I don't think it
yes,
is.
they
Is it?
they stopped delivering packets. I
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Really?
yes.
But they, it's data. It's stuff that needs to be processed that can be broken down into lots and lots and lots and lots of little pieces. That's the really important part of it, is they can break this down into little pieces, distribute them out to lots and lots and lots of different computers, and then get that all back and then join it all back together again.
Yep. Okay, I just posted the
Yeah,
link to
basically.
SETI at home, and if you go to their website there, right there on 31st of March, final data is in the splitter queue, and they've stopped the process that puts data in the queue. So
Yeah, it says
Wow.
hibernation is necessary because we reached a diminishing returns point.
Mhm.
So
So
much data has
I've
been
been
collected over
wasting
21 years.
12 kilowatts a day for 21 years, and we still don't have aliens.
It's
Yes.
because aliens are hiding in your CPU.
I mean, I actually joined up SETI at home in December 2000, and just to give
Wow.
you an idea, I remember when I actually joined up and started doing it. I think I was using a G4 probably, and then I remember when I got my G5 and started doing it, and just seeing the numbers just getting blown away by this dual processor 2 gigahertz G5. And I remember at the time I had some PC friends that were also doing SETI at home, and my numbers were just leaving them for dead when it came
Well,
to
you
the speed
could,
of processing them.
I guess until March, you could still do it on a G5. I did it on a G5 a few months ago.
But why are we talking about SETI at home?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
same
I
It's the
thing.
same-
asked you
it-
why we're
Because
talking about
GT
that.
derailed us. That's why.
But anyway, folding at home has basically literally became the world's biggest supercomputer. And right now, everyone is folding because they're trying to fight the COVID-19 virus. And basically, this topic is why you should consider running it. Now, there's some caveats and stuff. You need a system, of course, that supports it. And if we're talking in the Mac community, any Intel Mac can run it, any of them, but not every GPU can run it. And there are a few GPUs I wouldn't run it on if you even wanted to, because you might end up melting your Mac. But you always want to have the fan curve up high. I've literally ran folding on every single Intel Mac I've had for at least one work unit just to do it, basically. But it helps a lot in the community. It helps fight this stuff. It's My Natural Color did a video on it. Linus has done multiple videos on it. In fact, his first folding video is why I started it in 2015 and why I'm in the top 30 for his folding team. And it's just a very good cause. I was doing it to fight cancer, but now all my systems, I think, have converted over to COVID-19 research. And, you guys should join the community. There's a lot of videos out there.
Okay, I have
It's
one.
very
I have
helpful.
one question about this though. Now, okay, who is actually getting all the data and actually using it? I mean, besides using your computer power to do stuff. I mean,
What they have is they have multiple servers out there that send out the packets that need to be folded and stuff, and then it sends out to multiple different other servers. Groups will come up with a medical project that they need research for, and they'll either set up their own server, if I understand that correctly, or they'll submit it to Stanford for them to distribute it, and then
So-
it will automatically upload after it's finished folding.
Yeah, their website has a pretty good description there. GT.
Yeah.
It's owned by the academic institution, and it's a nonprofit dedicated to science research and education. They don't sell or make the data available for money. The data is available for others to use. Blah, 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 blah. They have a pretty good write-up.
actually, I know. I'm looking at Neo B's comment there. MACYAK actually does have one on the at home, the Berkeley one, not the one you're on, though, Grudy. And I think it's only me, Grudy, and Rocky. I think are the only three on it.
I used to do the folding at home on Mac Rumors back in like 2009, maybe no, I think like 2005 or so, because I had what machine was I doing it on? Oh man, I think I had it running on my G3 mini tower. I had to turn it off because it was terrible because not a lot of computing power there. But I had to look up my 2003 or 2004, something like that. It was nuts.
Yeah, and now it requires an x86 processor. I think it's Pentium 4 later.
Ooh.
And it also needs a Fermi or I think it's an HD 5000 series
Looks like,
ATI card.
the Mac requirements say this is at least for the foldingathome.org website. Says CPU needs to be a 64-bit Core 2 Duo or better and run OS 10 10.6 Snow Leopard. GPU folding is not currently supported on OS 10.
Which it's sort of, from what I've understood, it sort of supports now on GPU folding, but it's actually very recommended. And that's what I usually do. It's more recommended to run it in Windows because it's always had more support for it.
Yeah, I just remember running it on it must have been like Jaguar or Panther.
Yeah, and like Alex said, a lot of people actually got into it because they had a PS3 and back on
I did
what
that
was
too,
it
yeah.
called? PlayStation
Linux.
Home. Yeah, you could do it on PlayStation Home. It had a
Oh,
built-in.
okay. I remember doing
program.
the Linux install and I don't think it ran too well in there. Maybe that's why I used PlayStation Home was the better option.
Yeah, I ran Yellow Dog on the PS3 for like a day. It was bad.
Did you get your $3 court settlement from Sony?
No, because I didn't have proof that I did it, but I did do it back in the day.
I wrote the judge and everything. I got
Really?
my $6. Yep.
Nice.
That was worth it.
Yes, it was. It was supposed to be $50 per console, so I registered 2. I ended up getting like $6 and change. Not
But
worth it.
yeah, we might consider making a holding team, but I doubt many people will join it. What I just recommend is just start folding. You can make yourself an account and get a user key and stuff, and just start racking up points and helping.
And
research.
what's that? What do points get me?
Well,
You can print out.
respect mainly, but some teams that you join, like for EVGA, they'll give you free in-store credit on their website. You know, Linus, the only thing that he'll get that you get is sometimes recognition from LMG or a badge. I've got the second highest badge you can get on Linus's.
And what does a badge get you?
Respect.
Bragging rights.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing but
Okay.
So Jay has enough respect and bragging rights, so he's.
I mean, at the end of the day,
He's-
the reason why folding at home exists is because the people who are trying to process this data don't have the money for the big, powerful computing resources. So you are effectively, it's charitable. You are giving your computer's time ultimately as a charity. So, you do get things like badges and points and stuff like that. But it's,
I found my own
forewarning.
stats.
I've never lost a CPU folding, but I've gone through, and they're all under warranty, thank God. But I've gone through at least, I think, 10 GPUs.
So
Oh,
don't
yeah.
use your GPU.
you can
I'll pass.
you could tell it not to use your
So-
GPU.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. If you have a nice aftermarket GPU in your Mac Pro that's got a nice full warranty on it, go for it. Because that's what I do. Buy
No,
warranties.
I'm gonna use an old i5 that's sitting in my basement. I'm not using anything that that I rely
One
on.
of my GPUs, I've literally, it's a GTX 950. I've replaced 4 times under warranty.
So you're saying that's a really shitty card and everybody should stay away from it?
And they start kind of melting and warping.
that sounds like a
So
bad-
that's the reason why Jay said it's a real shitty card, and you should stay away from it.
It's a good gaming card.
But it's not a good folding card.
Do not
Yeah,
fold.
personally, I will consider folding after my kid is off to college and I don't have anything better to do. Until then, I will spend my money elsewhere.
Yeah, because you got to remember too, when you're folding too, you're using a lot of processing power on your CPU, so you're going to see that power bill
but
go
you can
up.
set up. You can
Yeah,
also
but
set it up.
Yeah, you could, like Greg is saying, you could set it up like how much percentage. Of
I
the
know you
CPU
can.
wanna
I know
use.
you can.
And I used to just use like a little Core 2 Duo crap box Dell, and it was doing fine. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not gonna. It
here's-
was eating up like 90 watts. I mean,
I just put my folding stats up for you guys to take a look at.
I found my old Macrumor stats, and I only had 620 work units. So I don't know how long I was doing that for. It doesn't have a
It's
date.
actually not that bad, honestly.
Yeah,
620.
I was doing it for a few years.
Yeah.
I wish I could find the starting date. I'll dig.
Rock Mods 0, huh?
0. You're funny.
That's what it says on mine.
what it
That's what it
says.
says.
It's,
It says points 0, gain 0, rank
It's
0.
his Wi-Fi. His Wi-Fi cut
It's
out.
all
Yes,
on
he's
zero.
folding and not connecting.
Rank 0, points 0, gain 0, date 0, or dashes.
it's weird because it's popping right up on mine.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Seriously. Every time I click on it, it pops right up.
I'm seeing all zeros. I don't know what everybody else is seeing, unless I'm reading this.
Well,
Zero.
if you hit your head really hard, it looks like,
Well, I guess it just means Greg's a 0.
oh.
But yeah, for Team Linus, I've got 600 million points now. I think altogether I've got like 615 million points so
So
far.
what you're
I get the bragging rights and the badge. Actually, I don't, but I get what you're saying. You wasted thousands of dollars in power consumption to do this. And what did you get? Do you get an email that says, hey, you cracked the code. We can now cure cancer? Or
Occasionally you'll get messages and stuff of what some things have helped, you know. They can't tell you who or where it came from. They don't even know if you're the one that helped them, but you do get messages that people have been helped for folding every once in a while.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little bit like if you're giving some money to charity to, I don't know, protect a species of animal or something.
Yeah, basically.
You know,
They're not going to say, we
Yeah,
didn't kill
hey.
2 of them.
yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily get messages back from them saying, "Hey, look, this particular animal's sort of survived because of you." I mean, they just say, "Look, here's all the good we're doing," and that's kind of the same with this. It's like, we are making progress.
Right.
You're contributing to the greater
Yeah,
good, that sort of thing.
That would be cool. That would be more of an incentive for me. It's like, this is a picture of Starla. Starla didn't get shot by his owner because we saved her after barking.
well,
Because
hey guys,
Here's the window Starlight didn't
yeah,
get thrown
Sad
through.
Max said he thought about chucking his G5 at it, but here's the thing though, you don't want to put a G5 on this stuff because you think that the G5 would suck down your power bill 3 times faster than an Intel.
Yeah.
Well,
And a
you
SATI
need a
fold.
space heater.
Back when SETI was still working, a SETI fold takes literally 4 times, like 4 days to do one process. You know, but I would do it.
Yeah, the power bill would
I'm
be
going to throw
like,
some PC junk. I'm not going to throw my Macs at it.
yeah. If I threw a Mac at it, I would probably throw this 2009 at it over here. It's got Intel. I've got it's a quad core.
can they knock any louder? I'll be right back.
But it's a quad core in it, so I mean I could probably throw that at it, but that'd be all I would throw at it. So
Yeah.
but I would not. I'm not going to put my Mac Pro on that with 24 cores on it. Even though I could use the graphics card on here too, I'm not going to melt my 5700. Not going to happen.
So what we're saying is use your work computer that you don't have to pay
There
Yeah,
you go.
Before I go off camera again, if you ever visit my house and you want to be obnoxiously loud when you knock, you better have chocolate cake when I open the door.
And apparently they had chocolate cake.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
for. Enjoy your cake.
So any more on folding before we move on? Going once, twice.
No.
All right.
Nope.
So our next topic tonight is iOS 14 rumored to offer home screen widgets. So I'm not even sure what home screen widgets are, to be honest with you.
Neither do I.
Don't look at me.
So who put this topic up?
Someone put it in there.
I put the topic in there.
Oh, Steve knows.
Steve, go for it.
Well,
So Steve knows it all. Steve can talk. Speak,
So-
my child.
Would you let me get to it? So, for I don't know how long this has been a rumor for, but ever since I think like iOS, I want to say like 11 or 12, there's been the rumor of there are like little widgets on your home screens, kind of like or on your lock screen or wherever they want to put it. Kind of like what Android does, where there's like you have a clock or an appointment calendar or whatever. On the lock screen in iOS, you can swipe and you can see, your notifications and stuff like that. it seems like the want here is for the ability to have a little bit more in-depth interaction with that. So maybe you'd have not just a notification panel, but something else. And there was a little bit of this back in the day. I forget which iOS release, whether it was 10 or 11, where they went back and forth because this one app developer made it so you could, in the notifications panel, there was like this little mini app and you could just scribble notes. Like you just type little notes and stuff. And then Apple killed it and then they brought it back. So, not just about, widgets, but, iOS 14 features, it's going to be released sooner rather than later. I'm trying to think of like what I'd like to see more compared to iOS 13. I mean, we got probably the best feature that I use from iOS 13 is the iMessage search, because that was terrible in previous versions. Still not perfect, but it's better than nothing. But I don't know, any dream features that you would love to see on iOS or something that doesn't work correctly that you'd love to see remedied? That's where this topic is going.
Yeah, and actually, people in the chat, if you could actually come up with some of your features you want too, we'd like to hear those. Yeah, because right now, to be honest with you, I can't think of anything I'd like to see in iOS 14 except, make it more customizable. That's the key to it. For instance, I want to be able to move the icons to wherever I want to on the screen instead of having them all line up and drop into place where Apple thinks they should be. I want to be able to put.
So you don't want to follow a grid.
Exactly.
Really? This is coming from the guy that loves stacks.
No, well, I like stacks because that works differently. Okay, but I'm talking about my home screen on my phone because on my Mac I can put icons wherever I want to put them on the screen. Okay.
So you'll be happy to hear this because the Mac Rumors article states Apple's reportedly working to implement widgets that can be moved around freely, like icons, on an iPhone or iPad home screen for the very first time. So you'd be able to move them around wherever you want.
Let's hope so, because that actually would be useful because I would like to move. Because I guess I'm kind of OCD, especially when I have like one missing on the bottom or something. I'd like to make it more symmetrical. You know what I'm saying?
You just make a folder.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, that's something my coworker back in the day, she switched from an Android phone. I finally convinced her to get an iPhone because she didn't know what the Android phone was doing half the time, and it was a terrible device, one of those cheapo ones. And so she finally switched. I think it was an iPhone 5. And she came to me and she's like, I think it's broken. I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, I dragged the icon over and it's not going. I'm like, oh no, they keep them all in the same row horizontally attached to a grid. She's like, oh, I don't like that.
That's one of the things I've never really liked about the iPhone. From day one, they should have made it where you can move those icons around.
No, not with Apple's perfectionism. They want it snap to a grid.
Well, still have it snap to a grid, but if you move it, and leave space, like let's say you make a big square of icons around, leave the center empty. Where you?
Why would you want to leave the center empty to look at your wallpaper?
Exactly.
There was a jailbreak tweak for that for years.
In fact, I know because I used to jailbreak my phone back in the day, back when I had my 3G and 3GS.
So you spoiled yourself, and now nothing's.
When I had my 3G and 3GS, I used to jailbreak those. And
I don't know what this window is called. Can someone remind me?
What window? That's your lock screen.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry, that was my kid. This.
That's your control panel, yeah.
Yes, I want to be able to add
control center
features to that VPN on off.
You can.
Not as much as I want to.
No,
I'm saying it needs improvement.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, I would totally agree. I don't know if they actually open that up to developers. That would be a want I would want in a future iOS update if it isn't there already. But that'd be great, like Jay's saying, like a VPN on-off switch, an actual Wi-Fi on-off switch, not, we'll turn it off for tomorrow, and then you'll have to turn it on again.
I don't like the idea that you turn it off and it still looks like it's on. That was the stupidest thing they ever did because it confused a lot of people. It's like, dude, if I turn Wi-Fi off, I want it off. I don't want it
I don't want turning itself on tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd like to see, like I said, a little bit more improved search in messages. Because right now, if I go do a search, it's going to just come up with what it finds. I'd like to click on the person and do a search in that person's thing. So, like I tap on your message, Jay, and I want to type in Macintosh LC or whatever. I just want to find the results from our conversation, not iMessages as a whole, because it could be some word that you use very commonly, like Mac or Watch or iPhone or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just going to pull up all the results. On the Mac, you could do it, but I want to do that on the Mac, it's a little easier to do. You can't do the individual searches, but I'd like to better search.
Okay, is someone showing Dana's comment there? Because
I did.
well, I think
I think it's each person is a little different with that. Mine works okay. It's much better than it used to, but it's really funny if you have the Hey Siri thing enabled. If you have a friend or a relative that sounds very much like you, it often just picks it up if one's trying to do it and the other person's phone is within shouting distance.
Yeah.
But Neo said default Google Assistant. I think he needs to be banned for that. Google.
Yeah, get on that. I know he just came back, but let's that.
I mean, honestly, what I would like to see in iOS 14 is the ability to set your default web browser. So maybe you don't like Safari, maybe you want to use Firefox or something on iOS. Set your default email client, stuff like that. I mean, look, I understand Apple wants you to use their apps. It's all well and good, but OS 10 has the ability to set defaults. Even if there was a Google, Assistant instead of Siri checkbox or whatever.
Yeah.
Same with the maps, like all that stuff. You should be able to set defaults.
I agree with you on that. And yeah, I think that's one of the things they definitely need to do, though. I mean, I could set a default search engine, which is fine. You can still do that on iOS, no problem. Because I have it set for DuckDuckGo, so that's what I use for my default search engine.
Yeah, until Apple rebrands Sherlock as their own search engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see Sherlock back with the old interface and everything.
Brush metal.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too. What about we've probably discussed this in the past. Well, the skeuomorphic icons. I'd like to see those come back. To be honest with you, I like the look of them.
Well, some apps took it a little far where you sacrifice too much screen real estate for it to look real.
True.
But I think a nice middle road would be.
Well, I would like the icons to look more 3D. To be honest with you, the flat look is just the Johnny Ives look is just crap. To be honest with you.
Well, everything old becomes new again, so I'm sure that's just
at the end of the day,
a few cycles around.
There's plenty of stuff that I want and need and all that. At the end of the day, I want them to not add any new features. Just work the whole year on fixing bugs, and that's it. Just give me an iOS that I can.
But that doesn't sell
decade.
devices.
Yeah.
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 But this is what we want, right? Not what's gonna happen.
No, I'm just kidding.
But Charlie's got 3D icons. Get those. But no, Charlie, I'm talking about the old skeuomorphic ones that looked like you could push them.
Speaking of Charlie, were we gonna do half an hour on bashing him like he suggested?
Oh, that's right. Yes, I've forgotten about that.
Well, we only got like a half hour left in the show, so.
Oh, that's right. Maybe next week, Charlie. Maybe next week.
Bring back the old game centers, dysfunctional wombats. Yeah, actually, I agree with that because when you played against other people, but the problem with Game Center was it was basically too abused as far as people scoring points and stuff, because you'd see games on there like it was impossible to get scores on there, and I'm like,
someone was messing.
Yeah, so
I used Game Center once or twice. I can't remember the last time I did. Now you have those little games that go inside of iMessage, and
yeah, those are fun actually.
Yeah, keep whooping your ass.
I mean, I'd like to. I think because I actually haven't done it in a while, so I think they just removed the Game Center app. Is that it? And now it's just all like in-app things.
It's all in-app stuff. It's not the game. It doesn't connect to the Game Center anymore.
Because every once in a while, when I open up a game, you'll be like, hey, welcome.
Because if you go like on the old, I have an old iPad too, and it still has Game Center on it. And if you try to open up Game Center, it errors out because Apple pretty much.
It just used to like keep your scores and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it
that,
would
right?
keep your scores, and you could compare it with other people.
Like a leader list.
Yeah, and you could compare it with other people in the game and stuff. But it doesn't work
I
anymore.
think the idea was all right, and if it doesn't work and no one's using it, fine, get rid of it. It was a good attempt. I never minded it existing. It was never in my way. It didn't bother me. Not unlike was that thing they had in iTunes years ago, where they tried to put their own social network inside
Ping.
iTunes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually liked Ping.
Of course you did.
I was one of the only people that liked it. I even had a friend in college that
Never used it.
helped.
Did not want to use it, and glad they got rid of it.
I helped him set up his band on Ping, which was a nightmare to get set up. But once it was on there for 3 months before they killed Ping.
Hey, guess who just joined us? Ken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's trying to say that he's been here the whole time. He's just
I can.
man.
I invited him over for tonight, but I
There will
forgot
be a
to
test
remind him.
later.
He's cleaning up his house because after his Mac exploded, all those Chrome tabs.
Yeah,
just
after
everywhere.
4,000. He never got to 6,000, by the way.
Hello.
All right, so anything
says
else?
give him a
Yeah,
test.
anything else
Okay,
on?
we'll give it a test.
Yeah. Anything else on
Okay.
iOS 14? Oh, sorry.
Nah.
Nope.
Or you
I'm
said
not even
this-
up to date on the latest iOS. I think I'm 2 updates behind.
Yeah. All right. So next topic. More rumors is AirTags. Apple's rumored AirTags are spotted in Apple documentation. Would you buy AirTags? Do you use alternatives? Now,
What's an AirTag?
What's an
Okay.
AirTag?
So essentially, like those
RFID
little tile
tag.
trackers. Yeah. So those little tile trackers.
yeah,
or
they're
those,
called tiles. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's other brands too. I have one. and
Yep. There you
another
go.
one.
Right
Yeah,
there.
like that. So essentially, a little Bluetooth or other type of wireless device that lets you track or find, makes a beeping noise or whatever. If you lose it, glasses, your keys.
You have an
whatever.
app on your phone that
yeah.
you can actually sit there and say, "Find this," and it starts beeping.
Yep.
So
And
it's
then it works.
this, but from Apple, and the starting price is be $400
Probably.
or something.
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
So, but the other cool thing is there's like usually there's a little button on the device itself. So if you lose your phone and you push that button, then it pings your phone.
That's
you know,
why I have a
also.
watch that does that.
Assuming you didn't have the watch, this is.
I mean, the idea is that you put one in your wallet, you put one attached to your keys, that sort of thing.
Tape
And
to my kid.
and what they one of the things that they also
a
do is because
coworker of mine did that.
I think they work via Bluetooth, so of course they've got that very limited range. But if I understand it correctly, some of them work in a way that even if you leave your tile or something in a coffee shop somewhere,
It finds the nearest.
anyone else, anyone else who has that running on their phone, it will actually go in and ping its location to that phone.
I found
so
my
then-
keys that way. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can then you then actually have the resources of everyone else who's
But
actually
what's
using
the
those.
security ramifications on that?
Exactly.
That would scare me.
Okay, if you're gonna find my keys and you don't have the car, well, good luck. My
No,
wallet
no,
is
no, no,
another
no, no,
story, I
no.
guess.
I'm not talking about finding keys. I'm talking about being able to exploit into.
The privacy and security of the feature itself.
Exactly.
Okay,
I mean, at the end of the day, the user, if I have it and I walk past someone else's keys, I don't know that. It doesn't let me know. It
but,
simply sends that to the.
It's Apple
Okay.
that knows, and Apple that may share
And that's
it.
why I think Jay and I are on the same page here, is because I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, just because you don't know it with your phone, Apple gets that in its database.
all right. Loosen the tinfoil hat
No,
just a little bit. Let's.
I got to keep it tight.
So-
That's the beginnings of giving up whatever privacy and security you care
So
about.
let me tell you where it saved my butt, though. So I had one of these. Tracker was the brand of it. Tracker Bravo was the brand of it. And I went home from work on a Friday a few years ago and left my wallet at my desk. I had no idea where the heck it was. So I had one of these little trackers in there. And over the weekend, I'm going crazy. I'm like, I just had the darn thing, blah, blah, blah. And since it was part of this like mesh network thing, it was only Bluetooth, but someone must have had the app on their phone and over the weekend must have walked by my desk, or after I left must have walked by my desk. And I got a little notification from the app sometime on Saturday being like, hey, your keys are found, your wallet's found, whatever the device was named. because I used to mix up the devices in my wallet or my keys all the time. And I was like, oh, okay, good. Now I know exactly where it was. Otherwise, I would have probably ripped the house apart looking
Well,
for it.
I'm not disputing that it's very useful and it might work. I mean, Google is very useful and mostly works as well. But what are you giving up in order to use that service?
It's the same argument of security cams. You know, security cams they take away a lot of privacy, but they also solve a lot of crimes. It's a trade-off, isn't it? I mean,
Well, privacy for who? For the thief?
Yeah, I was gonna say because
Oh, let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You have a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones. You have a wireless Bluetooth speaker or whatever. And then I have this wireless Bluetooth tracker. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you going to tell the difference between this device? It's not. It's just a number code of, hey, this is this. This is that.
communicates directly with my Mac, not with Apple, not with anyone else on the internet.
Well, hold on. So what I'm saying is, even if this tracker company knows, hey, this item called Steve's wallet is in blah 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 location,
Right.
I think that it would be a huge security concern if they did not hash that data to an unrecognizable format somehow.
They all say they do.
Well, all I'm saying is I would be very surprised if someone at that company went to the lengths to find, or Apple went to the lengths to find my wallet with all of $20 cash in it.
No,
That's
it's
all
not
I'm
about.
saying.
It's not about.
Not saying it's not saying it's impossible.
history,
but-
location data.
yeah, we're not talking about your wallet there, Steve. We're talking about other things, like, for instance, can that be used to hack into something? Okay, because what's the protocol that they use for it? You know, can a hacker actually hack? No, but can a hacker actually hack into it? Hacking it?
So what? All right. So what would a hacker do to my?
No,
little
I'm
tracker?
talking about your tracker. I'm talking about the person's phone that's actually using the app.
Okay, so the little
You
device.
think it's
thing-
far fetched, but this stuff happens every day.
I'm not saying it's far fetched. I'm
We're
just
talking
asking you
about
to. I was just saying the device that's vulnerable is the little Bluetooth tag or whatever the heck you're going to call it. In my eyes, that's the vulnerable device that's just hanging out.
How's
there
that
people can
vulnerable?
Ping off or whatever. Well, that's it's out in the open. Your phone's in your freaking pocket.
I understand that, but your phone is more smarter than that little tile.
Okay. So
And they're both linked to your account.
yeah. Well, the tile is so all it is a dumb Bluetooth ID. You hold the button on it, it resets itself and it unpairs itself from your
I
phone.
understand that.
If it's paired to your phone, you might not even be able to see it on a Bluetooth wavelength if you're walking by. The only way I think it's picking it up is there must be some sort of hashed ID or whatever.
But
that's being pinged off.
But here's the thing, though, Steve. The scenario you just mentioned with your wallet. Okay, that person that walked by had that app running, picked up the Bluetooth signal. So what stops somebody from using that same protocol, same Bluetooth signal to hack into that guy's phone, and then see all his personal bank account data, stuff like that?
So how would you hack into my phone through the Bluetooth dongle?
Trust me, there's ways to be done.
No. Let's. I'm 20 miles away. The Bluetooth
No.
dongle is 20 miles
I'm not
away.
talking about the tile. I'm talking about the phone.
Let's say I want that blue and white CRT in your basement. All right.
Yes, sir.
I know your tag ID. I know your account. Everything that the Bluetooth signal sends can be decrypted, can be stored, can be seen. So I know, hey, this is Steve's wallet. Okay, save this. There's going to be services, if there aren't already, to get around all the fancy security and everything they have. So I'm going to ping you, say, hey, I found your credit card or your wallet. It's at this address. You go there. There's nothing there. I rob you at gunpoint, take the keys for your house, grab the CRT, and that's just.
Well, the
one
joke's
of a
on you
million
because it doesn't
scenarios.
work.
Neither does mine, but I'll have spare parts.
I'm not saying these devices are perfect. I'm sure they could be hacked, especially if
the
someone's
little
done
tiles. The little tiles don't know
That-
what's
that's-
attached to it.
I don't
It's
think-
the tile doesn't know.
And Jay and I are
The
not.
tile doesn't know if it's keys or a wallet or anything
and-
like that. The tile's just a dumb
And I
number.
agree with you
It
that
actually then has
I'm
to
not.
go back to
I'm not
database,
talking about
so.
the tile. I'm talking about the thing that picks up the tile's location, which is the smartphone that's running the app. Okay, that's a computer in your pocket. Okay, and computers,
Sure.
any computer can be hacked. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely, but I mean that's the risk you have with having a phone.
Exactly, I
Period.
understand that.
Tile's got nothing to do with it.
But
I mean, you can
it's-
remove the tile from that equation entirely.
I understand that.
While
That's
I
what I'm
will
saying, yeah.
continue on this for the next 5 hours, we're getting a little off topic.
Yeah.
Follow on Discord after. Anyway,
But
I think
one
that's
thing
why.
I will say about those things in general, I was the same as Steve. I had the tracker ones. The reason why I opted for the tracker over the tile is that these little devices need a battery in them, and the tile's a completely sealed unit. So when your battery runs out, you actually have to send the old one away, and they send you a new one with a new battery. That's certainly how it was. I don't know if it's still the case. The tracker actually had a replaceable battery, and I actually opted for those ones because I thought, well, it's nice to be able to just change the battery yourself. But that really didn't become an issue because the thing failed before the battery did. So, and that was
Exactly what happened
basically,
to me.
yeah. I mean, the problem is that if you have this thing hanging off your keys, I've got a great big bunch of keys. If you have it hanging off your keys, constantly banging against the metal, going into your pocket, hanging off your car, whatever, though the little tracker thing just got banged up over, sort of weeks, months, whatever, and eventually just stopped working. The biggest issue I had with that particular one was they just weren't very durable. I haven't tried the tile. They might be better, but the main thing with those is because they are like key rings or they're stuck in your wallet or something like that, they have to be made really, really well to last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
my
one more thing,
tile broke and I complained. They sent me a new one. But those replacement batteries that are free for life, those batteries don't last more than a few months, and they will always die when you need to look for your device.
yeah. And didn't I read, this might not be about AirTags, might be about something else, that the reverse of it, that you can use the tile, I'll just call it a tile for now, to find your phone even when the phone is off or something?
No, not when the phone's off. So if your phone is within Bluetooth range and you turn this optional feature on, you pushing that button and you have the app open. You have to have the app open. If you don't have the app running in the background, it ain't gonna do
So
anything.
basically,
it will
your watch is better because your watch uses Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. If
definitely.
you're one who is prone to lose your phone a lot, then yeah, the finding with your watch is way better.
Yeah, get a Series 1 watch for $100.
Trust me, I use that feature on my watch a lot to find my phone.
Me too. Yeah.
So
I hear that sound 75 times a day.
Yeah.
Because
So
my
are you
wife will
concerned,
put her
GT?
phone down, turn around, and forget where her phone is. Beep, 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 all day long.
Yeah.
Now, are you
same in this
concerned,
house.
GT, with someone getting into your
Huh?
watch?
No.
Okay. I just want to know.
You're opening a can of worms, Steve. Can of worms.
There's tons of worms to go around. I'm just interested in Apple's implementation of this because I've used the tile and I've used the tracker. I have not really been satisfied.
The
with either.
reason why I'm
So,
saying that, Steve, is because the watch is paired to my phone. That's the only two it communicates with. But the tile, like you just said, will actually communicate with other people that's not attached to it. That's why I was saying that it's a little bit different.
I'm sure if someone was determined enough, and somebody probably already has, they could do some damage.
Because they could like,
mine's dead anyway.
well,
So.
I mean, because they can like basically pretend that it's a tile and get in that way. But anyways, that's another topic. We'll have to have another topic on that. All right, so our last topic of the evening is trackpad support on iOS and iPad OS. Now, I actually had the beta version, and I'm running it on my iPad, and it actually does work pretty well with the mouse. I haven't tried it with a trackpad yet, but I've done it with a mouse, and it does work pretty good. So, is anybody else? Now, it actually is on the latest iOS 13, but you have to go into accessibility settings to get to it. It's you got to dig down to get to it in order to use it.
It works with iOS and iPad OS,
Yes.
right?
Well, not on. It won't
So-
work on your phone. It won't work on iOS. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm going to put my phone on a stand and use a mouse or something.
Just iPad OS. Okay, so
There was a jailbreak tweak for that back in the day.
There was
I used to use a
jailbreak
mouse on
tweak for
mine.
everything.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the reason why people don't jailbreak anymore, because Apple's actually finally got a lot of those good features that were jailbroken into it.
It took us 10 years, but by God, we've got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally will never use it. But I guess what's the biggest iPad? 12-inch?
Yeah, 12 and a half, I think, 12.9 or something like that.
If you have a workflow that you pick up that thing all the time and then you want to put it on a stand with the keyboard and all, I get it. It might be useful, but
Well, Linus just did a
very few
Linus
yeah,
Linus Tech Talk did a short video on it, and he made a lot of comments about why it's not that, because they're basically trying to start. Remember the days back when Apple said the iPad is not a replacement for a computer? Well, now they're trying to make the iPad a replacement for the laptop, which, you know,
they're calling it a computer.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with that new looking stand, it makes it look just like a iMac almost on, you know, floating in the air.
Bet you Steve Jobs wouldn't have done it.
Nope.
I think
would have. That's the same guy that said, "Oh, stylus." Bleh.
Well, to be honest with you, the stylus came out after Jobs died.
Yeah, but it was under development for a while.
I'm sure it was.
I don't know.
I think that where the trackpad support and the mouse support for this, where I think it's really good, is two areas. One, like, because iMovie was updated for it and iWork. One is like manipulating something very carefully, like if you're trying to drag something to a timeline and your touch isn't, you know, you're not zoomed in, you want to be specific, or if you're like remote desktoping into a desktop and you have that VNC app or whatever open. I mean, I could see those scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the moment I need to use a mouse or a trackpad, I move to a laptop.
Yep. I agree with Bruce there.
My iPad. So for me, it's completely pointless. I get maybe people who maybe it's a device they were issued from work or something, and they need to do more complex stuff on it. So then maybe, I get that, but definitely not something for me. I can see the value in doing, remoting, into other people's computers, but other than that, as I say, no. Pointless.
Yeah, I think it's good to have the option in the OS rather than
USB dongle mouse or Bluetooth only?
No, Bluetooth only.
I can't use my puck with the iPad. Then what's the point?
No, I think they said there's going to be USB-C support.
Yeah, but he said USB A, right?
From Lightning.
Obviously, you have a USB-C hub if you're using an iPad. You know, if you need to plug in something USB.
Yeah.
I think I read that was possible. Either way, I mean, I'd rather have more features in the OS than not. So.
True. I mean, it's there for there.
Don't use it. Turn it off.
Well, actually, you can't turn the new features in there. As soon as you hook up a mouse to it or trackpad, then
don't hook up a mouse.
Because I tested it already, and it goes away when you turn off the mouse, but it's not an actual cursor. It's a little dot. So it's almost like your finger touch.
Pretending to be a finger.
Yeah, it's just like the weird accessibility feature that's been on.
Well, it's exactly what that is. They just put it to the forefront now instead of in the background. So,
Rudy, can you stop growling at us? It's a little distracting.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead. What time is it right now? All right. We're going to go ahead and move over to Steve's Archive Adventures here, unless we want to talk about the additional item or not. No? Good.
I think that's
yeah. So, Steve, take it away.
All right. So let me get my link here so I can paste it into the chat. There we go.
Paste it.
So today I was doing some scanning while I was working. I moved the big old Epson Workforce scanner / printer here, which has a huge scanner bed there. So I came across some files my mom put aside for me when they were cleaning and moving their house. And I came across this awesome circular from June of 1990. And what's nice about this is it's actually local. It wasn't like a huge chain store or anything. So it's kind of unique. It's called Computerland. They had 3 locations here in New Jersey. And you could probably see it better if you click on the link
here,
there.
I'll pull up the first pages that I...
Oh, yeah. You want to do that.
So don't show anything now because you're covered.
SEFDHD, $2,000.
Yep. That's a bargain there. So you had... So this is like a PC magazine. So there's PC stuff, there's Mac stuff there. You see that cool little radius pivot display. You see a Macintosh SE30, nice laser writer there, a Mac Portable, an image writer too. Really cool stuff there. So what I always like about this stuff is to see like what the prices were going for, not when they were released, because that's well documented. But here you see things are on sale, where it says, oh, this was this price and now it's this price or whatever. That stuff is always harder to track because let's say it came out at one price in '86. Well, in 1990, that price has maybe been reduced somewhat. So it's always cool to see this stuff. There's a lot of PC stuff in there. There's some software there as well. I think
Mac Draw, $300.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There you go.
$279. Yeah.
And then what did I see? I think I saw Lotus 123 is $459, and you get a pack of verbatim discs here, only $15.
Yeah.
Bad deal. And
It's not bad, honestly.
where was here it is. WordPerfect, $279. The list price was $495. So yeah, if you like looking up this stuff as much as I do, these little time capsules here.
I can lose days on this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I just went through. I just went through a newspaper here. This is the New York Times from June 26, 1990. And here they had a whole spread of electronics and computers and stuff. So I've been scanning some of this stuff, and this is around
everything.
No. Let me explain why this is here. So my dad was looking to buy a computer, his first computer, around 1990, and he eventually got the 2CX here. So, in fact, this folder was something my mom found in the filing cabinet. They were cleaning out when they were moving house. And in here was the newspaper and all this goodies. But the little thing I did not scan in yet is this. And this is just handwritten notes of my dad comparing the Macintosh 2FX, the 2CX, and the 2CI, seeing which one he should get. So,
Nice.
There's cool stuff there. So, as soon as I find more stuff, I'll scan it in. You'll see it on that archive.org page.
Cool.
A lot of history to thumb through.
Yeah, I think if we put those prices today on there, they would be part of the what were they smoking portion.
Well, so I sent an image. I think it was also in Discord, maybe, but I put it on. It was a Macintosh SE. This guy wanted over $3,000 for it. It's yellowed. It looks horrible. It's locally somewhere in my area, and the guy wants over $3,000 for it. And we looked at the price listing of the one thing I just scanned. He had an FDHD. You could get an SE30 for less than that new. So this guy's nuts. But yeah, some good candidates there.
Did you see that with the Lotus 123, they're releasing version 2.2, or they're selling version 2.2 and version 3 at the same time with a $100 difference in price. So they're actually selling two versions of the software at the same time.
Yeah, weird times.
That's because, the reason for that, Bruce, is because version 123 version 2 would run on the 8088 and the 8086s, but version 3 would not.
So if you had an older computer, you'd have
you have to remember, these were the days where businesses weren't upgrading their computers all the time because, they were ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, we've just seen the reason why.
But I think the one thing that needs to be shown, there's two things in this computer land advertisement that needs to be looked at. If you look on the second page, you see a SE30 for $29.99. Okay, and it's just a base model. It's a mega RAM and a 40 meg hard drive, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't even say how big the hard drive is. But then on the same page, you look over at the next page where you see the IBM PS2 Model 65SX Tower for $38.99. Monitor extra.
I don't see the IBM.
And let me tell you, I used to own a Model 65 PS2, and that SE30 would smoke the damn thing any second of the day.
Yeah, if you don't see the IBM exactly where he's telling you, there were two versions of the PDF.
Yes.
Were out of order, so you might just jump to the next page depending on if it was
Gotcha.
And then the other comparison is look at the price of the Mac Portable. Now, this is what 1990 you said, Steve?
Yeah, June 1990.
So the PowerBook 100 hasn't been released yet. So for $35.99, you got the Mac Portable. Now, I know this seems ridiculous to us, but you got the Mac Portable for $35.99. Okay, with an 80 meg hard drive, the 68,000.
Rudy, could you stop typing with Fury for like 10 seconds?
And 6 to 8 hours of battery life. And if you turn the page, you see the IBM PS2 Model P70, which truthfully is a faster machine, in a way, but it's not truly portable because it doesn't have a battery, and it costs $4,600.
And look
And
at
it's-
that.
Have a look on
display.
page 6. At the top right hand of page 6, there's a whole series of Toshiba and Compact Epson
Look at those
laptops up there.
screens.
That just sort of
Nice.
shows you what it's competing with, I guess.
Yeah. The
Wait,
cheapest one
Epson
there
made
is
computers?
damn right they did. They made
Yeah.
graphics cards for the
I
Mac.
never knew. I thought they were a printer and scanner company.
Epson,
They
oh
made
yeah,
a lot of
they
things, Joe.
made computers up until about the 386 era, and then they kind of dropped out.
I think they made medical equipment for a while too, didn't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because
I
their
think
printers
Epson-
were phenomenal.
Epson in general had their hands in almost everything, but nowadays they're most known for their printers. I mean, most of your industrial printers today are made by Epson, so because they never die.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like some of these, you take things for granted today, but I like a lot of these things. Monitor extra, and then it tells you like, oh, it's only 20 megabytes of fixed disk space. It's just fun looking at.
Monitor and mouse extra. You don't even get a damn mouse.
Yeah, the Macs you used to have to buy your own keyboard
Mac.
for the Macs. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mac SE
I
says
think-
keyboard extra.
The one cool thing is the Oki laser is $919, and the funny thing is most people haven't heard of them today, but Okadata makes the only dot matrix printer still in the market
I think
today.
you- I
2020.
You just made a chill go up Rocky's spine because he loves those little guys.
Yeah, so
Okadata impact printers are some of the best
They
dot
still
matrix
sell them
printers
today, yeah.
ever buy. Those things are, oh my God, they're ugly as crap. But man, they just never want to die.
They're probably still using the same molds from the 80s.
Question
Oh
for
no,
Steve.
they've updated some of them. Well, they only make one. I think it's the Microline 320, which actually they've been making for about 35 years now.
Wow.
But I mean, when you got to print multi-part forms, there's only one way to go. So
So, Steve, on page 2, there's an Apple Image Writer 2. List price $595. Call for price. What do you think the
So-
price was?
That printer came out in 86, I believe. So that model was out for a long time at this point, and it was discontinued a few years later. So at that point, they were probably selling it for maybe $299, I'd guess, $199 maybe. So
yeah,
they usually.
I think you're right. About $300, but 200 to $300.
Yeah, usually call for price means we don't want to put a cheap price on here and then we'll have to stick to it.
Right.
We want to tell you what the
or they
daily
don't
price
want to
is.
put the cheapest price on there to take away from their higher price stuff.
Well, that too, but they usually the thing is they don't want to be caught with their pants down, being like, "Oh, well, you said in the advertisement it's $100. I want it for $100."
Right.
Well, you could be like Best Buy at price match,
Well, I think before
I
those
know.
days.
Yeah, but that's the only color printer you see in that ad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else on this, Steve?
No, I just think it's a cool find. If you go to the archive link there, I'll paste it again because we've been talking for like an hour on it. And if you click on the little at the very bottom, it'll say Mac 84 TV at the bottom right. If you click on that, you'll see all the other stuff I've scanned in. So
Okay.
Neat.
feel free.
Cool.
All right. Last but not least is our shameless self-promotion. So we're going to go ahead and go around the horn here. I will start it off. Right now, I don't have anything going on except basically my iRacing stuff. That's about it. So I haven't made any videos lately for my channel. Don't have any planned, although I may do one soon on OpenCore to show how it's installed and everything, because most of the videos I see on OpenCore installation suck. So I'm going to try to probably make one that does step by step instead of
That'd be nice.
the ones I've seen where there's no audio at all and they're just showing you stuff to move this there, and so you got to.
And they're blasting bad
No,
music.
they're not even doing that. It's no audio at all, and you have to pause the video because they're not explaining what the hell they're doing. So you got to sit there and see what they're doing. So, and then there's no text just in the description saying, step 1, do this, step 2, do this. I want to do something like that, and then do something like that. That's probably my next project if I get to it.
That's the only reason I haven't touched it yet. I need a step-by-step that I can follow. And once I've done it once, I'll know it, but until then, I don't want to guess my way through
Yeah, and
it.
that's why I want to make one, because everything I've seen so far has been even on Mac Rumors, there's kind of a step-by-step, but it goes to a video, says, hey, you got to watch this video to do all the install. And the video is basically no audio. It's just showing stuff being dragged around on the screen, so you got to pause it to figure out what the hell he's dragging around,
Yeah.
and I hate when people do videos like that. That's the worst.
Well, sometimes they do it because it's meant for multiple languages.
Well, screw that. It's going to be in English.
And upload it multiple
It's going to be in
times.
English.
Listen, you can't all have the kind of production quality I had when I was cleaning a puck mouse.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Grudy, what do you got coming up?
Oh, I'm getting geared up to finally replace the screen and logic board in my iSight 20-inch iMac G5. Getting ready to do the flashing video on the iMac and work on that PowerBook over there and do the MorphOS video on it. Other than that, not a whole lot going on with me.
All right, Bruce, how about you?
I haven't had a chance to do that much with my YouTubing at the moment because I've just had so much work. But I hit sort of 900 subscribers the other day, so I'm
Man,
heading towards
he
that.
passed us up.
Towards that.
What is up with that?
Heading towards that magic 1,000. I can start getting some of that internet money.
Bruce,
Those
you're
pennies
growing.
coming your way.
You're growing probably 4 times faster than I did when I started really going.
Oh,
So-
that's-
So,
you're doing
so
good.
guys out there that are watching us, go and tell your friends to come and subscribe to us. We've been stagnant, but between 650 and 660
know.
for
60,
for
I
about
know.
4 months now.
Yeah.
You trick Bruce up. I
Can't
thought you were
this. We
I
don't,
do try and send people that way.
but offline, we're a little bitter at Bruce for having more subs than we do.
And he started lower than us when he came on.
I did. Well, I remember. I think when on the first show I came on, I think I was up
I think we were
to
at
333.
and we were at 6.
You're
Because
famous
we made
because of
comment
us,
the fact that it was.
You owe us.
But anyhow, I just recently got a desolder, a desoldering vacuum pump machine thingy.
Desoldering gun.
So I'm going to be sort of doing a few demonstrations of that on a video soon, and I'm also working on a video of how to make your own Mac Plus battery replacement because those batteries are getting harder to find and more expensive, and so this is a way you can just sort of make it out of really cheap stuff. So that's,
tune into
that's
that.
coming up.
You gonna clean your microscope camera anytime soon? Because this is very smudgy. Oh my god!
I gave you a personal tutorial for that. Come on, do you want any more than that?
Don't
by the
ask
way,
him,
I
he'll
was cleaning
require
up my
more.
basement, and I finally threw away the microscope box. And guess what was in
A
it?
cleaning set.
What's
a cleaning kit.
What's the one tool I didn't have at the time?
What was the one thing you didn't have? I can't remember.
Well,
Remind me.
X key that I needed to get the items in the box.
It was so
what?
all that time we could have pulled it apart with the hex key that was there. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. All right, Steve, you're up next.
So I've been doing some live streams recently, but I'm trying to finish a scripted video that's just sort of off the cuff, sort of hey, let me do this right now type thing. So I'm trying to finish it before I lose interest, and we'll see how that.
So it's not the clone video?
No, that's still also on my radar. So
He already lost interest in that a long time ago.
no, I have to change the intro of that. I have more hair in there than I did when
Yep.
I do now. So but yes, I'm trying to finish a a little video that I think is really cool because it's something that I've looked on YouTube. There's not really anything about it, so I'll post probably a Patreon sneak peek at that in a few days. That's what.
Hey, try to beat Ken's 6,000 tabs. You know, you got to beat at least 4,001.
Yeah. Let me open up six windows of Netscape on a Macintosh.
I think he had 4,000.
No, he had 4,000. The 5 was a count up. If you watch it, the video to the end, the count was actually just a cumulative count of all the tabs that had been opened. Not he only got to 4,000 and it crashed.
You kids and your fancy tabs.
All right, Jay, you're up.
Lord.
What are we? Oh, shameless. Right. I have a blue and white CRT that I took apart because it had some issues. I ordered parts for it. They should be here next week, so I might do a video on trying to fix that.
I still think you should get the one from Adma.
Yeah, if he comes to deliver it. I have a box full of Xserve T5 power supplies that need recapping, and I got too much to do in knowing.
You should have a modem there now too, right? A modem.
Oh, I
It
do
said
not.
it got delivered.
It lied,
It
but I haven't
lied?
checked the mailbox yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, go check your mailbox.
You're lying, but I haven't checked.
So little projects here and there, nothing major.
All right, Mike, and last but not least, and you said you have a secret project since nobody could see in the background.
I have a super secret thing that I'm working on. Only one person knows about it besides my wife.
And that would be Steve probably, because I could see him down there. No.
It is Steve. Only for the simple fact that I've needed his collaborative knowledge between the two of us to figure things out.
I thought
Because
we were
this-
friends. I thought we had no secrets from each other.
Let me be clear. Most of my responses have been, hell if I know.
This is true. This is actually approaching more of my native territory, but every once in a while, even I have to ask for advice. But let's just put it this way: it's not a Mac. So
It's going to be interesting. We'll just leave it at that.
yeah.
Well, it's
So,
not a check writing machine because that's still in my basement.
But I now I have upgraded the video card in my computer to something that's actually made in this century.
Yeah, now I can wonder why Jay is asking me about that video card now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can actually, it's amazing. I put a new video card in and I moved all of my video files for Final Cut off of my 2 terabyte spinner onto a 512 meg SSD. And it's amazing how much faster Final Cut Pro runs. Oh my God, it's just ridiculously fast now. I mean, for my computer with a whole 6-core processor.
Well,
So, you know.
but here's the thing also with Open Core too, that a lot of people don't know, is that it actually opens up your graphics card to do full hardware
Hardware
acceleration. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I hope you do make a video of that because you guys have really piqued my interest with the whole open core
It's
thing.
simple.
I'm
Trust me.
waiting on a video that's better than Martin's video because I can't follow it. It's
That's the one I was talking about. That's why.
I love the guy, but that was garbage.
exactly.
That's-
I can't.
That's
follow
why I'm thinking about making
Oh.
my own, so I can actually explain it step by step. You know, because Jay needs
Yeah,
to
I
be
kinda-
handheld.
Yeah. Well, Jay and I are kind of in the same boat in that respect. I don't like doing stuff like that either, especially on a machine that I use every day and rely on. If it was something I had lying around the house, I wouldn't care. But my house is 435 square feet, so I have one computer and one laptop. So,
And a whole bunch of
and,
cats.
and yes, I've got more pussy than the law allows.
All right, guys. So we've come.
Everybody.
We have.
Blurry
Yeah,
cat.
we have actually come to the end of our show tonight. So we do have a Discord. So if you'd like to join us on Discord, go ahead, pop up on that link right there. You're going to come up on one channel only if you've never been to our Discord. Make sure you read it because you have to do something in order to get full access. So make sure you read the rules and that you follow the rules. Okay, that's a
It's amazing how many people messed it
yeah.
up.
There are people
And we cannot help you.
exactly.
Beyond help.
All right, so That's a link. Also, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Give us a like, okay? Make sure you click that follow button. Make sure you hit that, or the subscribe button. Sorry, not follow. I'm thinking Twitch. Sorry. hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell icon and select all notifications. We only go live once a week, so you're only going to get one notification, and it's actually been working for a change. As soon as I hit the live button on here, I got the notification like about 10 seconds later. So it actually is working pretty decent now. I think YouTube's finally fixing their stuff. You know, maybe they got time now since coronavirus is keeping everybody home.
Maybe.
But guys, if you know somebody that likes this stuff or likes to chat or yak about it like we do, invite them over. Have them subscribe to us, okay? We would enjoy having you guys here. We do look at your comments in here, even though we don't mention them a lot, but we do actually read all the comments and everything. We like hearing the interaction with you guys. So if you like what you see, you know, go and share it with everybody else. You know, get other people in here. So other than that, that's about it for tonight, guys. So unless you guys got anything else, I'm going to call it a night.
No, that's all I got.
Hey, guys.
All right. So, guys,
Thanks for
see you
watching.
guys later.
Have a lousy night. Get
Yep,
lost.
thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.